In this video, I'm going to show how to use the variable assert app in the Focus Switch App Store. I developed this app mainly for use in with another script that I'm working on called Portals, and with that I was able to do some advanced job routing, but I needed a way of easily ensuring that variables were set or were the correct values. So without any further ado, let's open the app. So here I've placed the app variable assert onto my flow canvas, and I have a very simple flow, and all it does is this app will assert that certain variables are either not blank or have acceptable values. And this is very similar to what you can do with connectors by saying, only include these jobs where this value does not equal nothing. It's very similar to that. It's just a little more explicit, and it handles errors a little bit better. So not only is it easier to set up and to check multiple things at once, but when the job does fail out, you'll have a better message in the log that says, it failed checking for this, that kind of thing. So here I have a very simple flow where I've set it up to assert that this private data tag job number is not blank. We can make up to 3 assertions at a time, and in each of these assertions you have to set a tag. A tag, this is for you, this is your like a key that you're going to understand what this is, that it's blank. So you can type anything you want here, but if I'm checking a private data key, I usually like to put the private data key that I'm checking here. So in another example, if it wasn't a private data key, you might have a value that comes from an XML data set. So you might have like XML job number. And then in the variable field, you actually give switch that variable. So in the case of private data, you would give it whatever your key is. Or you could put a path to an XML metadata variable as well. So now that switch has the tag and the variable that it can check, you can make your assertions, and we only have 2 right now. They're assert not blank and assert acceptable values. So if you set this to no, then it won't check to make sure it's not blank. If you do yes, it will check, and it will route it down to the failure if it is found to be blank. We can also define a string list for acceptable values. So if you only wanted to handle jobs where the printing device was Indigo, for example, Indigo or Konica, you could say, well, Indigo is acceptable and Konica is acceptable, and if it was anything other than this, it would route the other way. But for now, let's just assert that job number is not blank. What I have here is I have a simple write to private data script that's writing the job number as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and down here I'm not setting any job number at all. So if we activate this, let's just delete these old ones in here. Now we can take some files and drop them in here. So we'll put the message.txt in this with job number folder. This will set the variable to something, pass it into the variable assert, and because the job number is set, it's passed along into the job number exists folder. If we take another file, we'll take this untitled file, and we'll drag it into the no job number folder. It's going to make this assertion and discover that the variable is actually blank, and then route it down here. So that's the gist of it. It's very helpful for something that I'm working on with portals called the portal callback pattern, where you send a job through a portal and you send it back out through a private data key, which is just the return channel that the other portal will go, that the job will be returned to through another portal. It's useful for other things as well. If you're doing an inject on a repository where you're deleting the file after injection, there has been some kind of buggy behavior before where if you inject on a null value, it seems like it's sometimes possible to delete the entire repository, which is detrimental sometimes. So having a way of very easily confirming that values are not blank or null is somewhat valuable. If you have the scripting module and you're interested, you can get the open source version of this from Open Automation on GitHub. But if you don't have the scripting module, then the only way to get this is through the App Store. That's it. Thanks.